YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back, and we got Week 8 NFL Power Rankings going through every single team from 32 to 1 like we do every single Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday evenings, we got our weekly picks, so I'm excited about that later today. Score predictions on Wednesday. We got you covered, covering the trade deadline, Deshaun Watson madness. Recent Watson video up, check it out. Any link you're looking for, you can find it in the comments, recent videos, Twitter. A lot going on that Twitter, a lot of updates covering the trade deadline as well, so check it out. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Full coverage, like I said here, so much appreciated if you join us for all that. Here's our Twitter. A lot of Deshaun Watson talk news there, some injury news. Again, I'm expecting some trades, so we'll have you covered fully for that, and we're always talking during games. We got polls. Where are they? Players of the Week. You guys are voting for those every week. So a lot going on this Twitter. Check it out. Again, link down below. For Week 8, 32, the Lions are sitting there, only team without a win, so shouldn't really be surprised they're 32. When it's all said and done, I don't really think that the Lions will be the worst team in football. That's just my prediction. But they got to go out and win games to go up in the power rankings, of course. They had a shot to beat the Rams. They started off very well. Late interception seems to be it seems to be common for them in the red zone there in crucial moments for Jared Goff, but it was a hell of a play by Jalen Ramsey. But hey, they put up a fight with the Rams there. 31, Texans will stay put. Not a lot of movement around here. I show the Jets here. The Jets they let the Patriots score 54 points. Kind of feels like they're worthy of moving down. The Texans only could put up 5. Couldn't really do much, so it's really hard to move the Texans up, or the team like the Lions, who, hey, they might beat the Jets or the Texans, those current teams head-to-head. Who knows? But it's kind of tough to move those teams up right now. So a lot of these teams staying put. Dolphins still struggling. They had a shot to beat the Falcons, just a little bit of sloppy play that kind of created them or resulted in them being down a little bit too much there. So, it's been a tough go for the Dolphins. Rumored to obviously be in Deshaun Watson talk, so we'll see if that happens. That could certainly change things if he plays this year. Jags staying at 28. They're coming off a win, but since then they have had a bye week, so play the Seahawks. It's a winnable game this week, so they're going to stay at 28. The Broncos, I'm going to move down 4 spots here. They started off 3-0, obviously lost 4 straight. They don't really have the best resume, especially being on a 4-game losing streak. Not having any statement wins, and I said it recently too. If they beat the Giants week 1, the way they're playing on the field, how they look on the field, which plays a part in my power rankings. I don't think they would beat the Giants again. I would pick the Giants to beat them, and they go in and play the Browns in primetime Thursday night football, and I expect, the Broncos should win that game. What the Browns are missing on offense, they got their preseason offense out there for the most part, And the Broncos look, even though the score was close, if you watch the game, they got completely outplayed in that game. So that's, it's going to sound harsh here, but it's pretty pathetic, to be honest. So, and you can't even trust. I know they're missing some guys, inside linebacker position on defense, but they're not tackling well. They're not, the guys you expect to get pressure aren't getting a whole bunch of pressure. They're not covering overly well. Again, tackling was a mess, so got to move the Broncos down for their current play here. They're down to 27. Washington State put at 26. They're on a little bit of a losing streak. They got to execute in the red zone. That's kind of the storyline of the Packers game. If they execute in the red zone, they could win that game, actually, against one of the top teams in football, the Green Bay Packers. So it's a tough one. Positive thing is I thought the defense played a little better. They were starting to get more pressure. They're stopping a run better than they were. So, and hey, the Watch football team plays the Denver Broncos this week, so that matched up pretty well. Somebody's going to maybe get into the next group of teams, and somebody might even move down further here with that game. So we'll see. Panthers, pretty much the same boat as the Broncos. They're going to be down 3 spots. Disappointing. You want to move a team like that down even more because 4-game losing streak. You lose to the Giants 25-3. So that was definitely a tough one. It's really just quarterback play right now. Offensive line play is not helping, but other than that, I still like their weapons. I still like their defense. So maybe not quite on par with the Broncos, where I just don't like anything about them right now, maybe besides their running backs. But I can't really say I like their running game because they're not running the ball enough. The Broncos, that is. But the Panthers down 3 spots. They got a big division game against the Falcons this week. They're going to have to figure it out, and they might be involved in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes as well. We'll see what happens there. Eagles will stay put. A disappointing loss against the Raiders. It's just tough to move them below some of these other teams that are below them. So they kind of are fortunate and get to stay put there. But yeah, they're not playing too well. It looks like pretty much anyone can score on them. And off the script, don't really trust, post-script, don't really trust the Eagles' offense a whole lot right now. Another team that could have had Deshaun Watson, but they still have 24. 49ers are going to be down 6 spots. I mean, this team's on a losing streak. They don't have any statement wins. There's times where they look good running the ball. They look good, on defense, getting after the quarterback at times. That's really the only thing they got going for them right now. But that Colts, that was a bad loss. I know a little bit of a downpour. I know the Colts played in the downpour as well, though. Just a very winnable game. And it ends up, they end up giving up 30 points, and the ending score it ends up not being close. So that's a disappointing one for the 49ers. I don't care if it's raining or what the hell is going on. That's a bad one. They play the Bears this week. It's a must-win game. It's a must-win game for both those teams, really. But the Niners lose that game, it's big-time panic time for the 49ers. It's not looked good so far. There's been some winnable games, and they can't pull them off. So, sure, in the future, we could see them pulling them off, and then they can climb their way up. They're going to have to go out and actually do that, though, for them to go up in the power rankings. 22 Seahawks, a winnable game against the Saints, but not the best play from their offense. Geno Smith he didn't have the best game there against the Saints. Wasting timeouts, taking some sacks. Defense was solid, but then you go to that last drive, some mistakes. But, they're going to go down 3 spots. If Russell Wilson never got hurt, it probably wouldn't be, they probably would have won the last 2 games. I would actually be confident they won the last 2. So it is unfortunate, but there is a lot of teams with a lot of injuries here. They're down 3 spots to number 22. 21, the Giants are going up 6 spots. That's a dominant win against the Panthers, 25-3. I like the way they played on both sides of the ball. Offense wasn't incredible, but they moved the ball pretty well there, and they executed defense. That's looking more. I know it's the Panthers' offense. Sam Darnold has been struggling, but that Giants defense, that performance is looking more like that. The end of the year Giants defense last year, which looked like one of the better ones in football, really. So really pleased with their performance there. They play the Chiefs on Monday night. The Chiefs look kind of beatable these days, so we'll see what happens there. But the Giants up 6 spots to number 21. Could they be better than their record shows? I definitely think you can make a case for that. Bears will go down 4 spots. Disappointing performance against the Buccaneers. I mean, they need to do a little bit more, put up a little bit more of a fight. They just got absolutely dominated, so that's a 2-game losing streak. They were looking pretty decent, better than expected before the losing streak here. So any given time, maybe they can kind of get back going. They play the 49ers. 49ers are below the Bears right now just because they don't have any statement wins. They're on a losing streak here. So it's a must win for both teams. We can categorize it as, and a winnable game for both teams there. Next up, Falcons looking good. Getting a couple wins in a row here. Offense getting going. Play a little more of a test here against the Panthers. I know the Panthers are struggling, but a little more of a defensive test. Well, I guess for the Falcons offense going against the Panthers defense, a little different than what they've been playing against the last couple weeks. But the Panthers seem to be easier task for some defenses out there. So that should be a pretty good game. I'd say another one. It's kind of a must-win for both teams. Divisional game. The Panthers really got to win to get off that losing streak. The Falcons, you expect them to take care of business home games against division rivals, maybe minus the Buccaneers, but they're looking good right now. Kyle Pitts getting more involved. Really like what I'm seeing. The defense is playing better ball. So, again, a little more of a test in terms of the defense they'll be facing this week. So I'm excited for that game. Steelers will stay put. They're off a bye. They're starting to heat up. A winnable game against the Browns. Big game, too, coming up here this week. But, no moving off the bye. Patriots, good win against the Jets. I know it's the Jets, but they really give it to them. Unleash Mac Jones a little more. Damian Harris gets going more. Get the receivers going more. The defense looks great. It's put up 54 points. Dominant win. They're going to move up 4 spots. I definitely think the Patriots are better than what the record shows, but they got to go out there and continue to win. So start to finally get on a streak here, and then they'll continue to climb. Big game against Chargers this week. Really looking forward to that one. It actually should be a pretty good game right there. 16, the Chiefs down 2 spots. Just can't stay consistent. The defense is probably the worst in football, and the offense has its problems right now. I'm not super, the offense isn't the same as it has been, not even close. I'm not super worried about the offense, but they're going to have to go out and, score more than 3 points. They're going to have to they're going to have to go out and look good at least on one side of the ball here, for me to move them up, and they got to win on top of that's the main thing with these power rankings. They got the Giants. That's no freebie there at all. I think that game could actually go either way. Giants might present some matchup problems, actually. So she's got to go out and win, and then they got to go out and win, stay consistent, get a streak going. It's weird. It's weird seeing them like this. They're down 16, down to number 16 there. 15, the Colts are up 5 spots. Another win for the Colts. Are starting to heat up a little bit. A good win against the 49ers. It was sloppy from the Colts. Wentz was a little sloppy. They started the game with a fumble. But even with that, they kind of adjust, overcome, still put up 30 points, still find a way to end the game. And, I know the game was close the whole way, but end the game in dominant fashion. So that's impressive to me away in prime time. So I guess you can't really have too many takeaways maybe for like going forward from a game like that, because downpour, I guess anything, even though the Colts end up winning by a lot, I guess anything could have happened at any given time. But again, like I said, the way they've adjusted and finished that game, pretty impressive. And they're starting to get rolling. Huge game against Titans this week, division rival game there. They're up 5 spots to number 15, so one of the big movers this week. 14, the Vikings had a bye, but they really just move up because the Chiefs moved down 2 spots. Chiefs had to move down, so Vikings just kind of benefited from that. They got a Sunday night game against Dallas Cowboys this week. 13, the Browns will stay put at 13. Impressive win. It's like more than half your preseason, I like to call it, offense out there. Some guys missing on defense, and you go out there, and I know the score ended up being close. Maybe we wish there was a perfect world they made that a little more comfortable for us, for everybody, maybe for fans. But they outplayed the Broncos by a bit there in that game. So that was pretty impressive there. So maybe they can work their way back up to where we think their talent level is. They got to go out there and start getting consistent, win games, though. Saints, yeah, a little underwhelming performance on Monday night. They got the job done away, though. A little bit of a weather to overcome as well, but both teams had that. But they clutch up in the end. A little sloppy, though. It's not the biggest statement win, not one where, just go out there and get a win in prime time away. So that's kind of what it was there for the Saints. They'll play the Bucs this week, which is a tough one, obviously. Jameis Winston revenge game. It is in New Orleans. That makes things interesting. So they're going to stay put at 12. I know most people, this is a good example. Most people will probably say the Browns are better than the Saints, right? But there's no reason to move. And that's an assumption at the end of the day. What teams have been doing. Saints are getting rolling now, even though maybe things are close. So I didn't see any reason to just move the Saints down or anything like that. Raiders stay put 11. It's a good win. It's the Eagles. I expect them to win, but they're looking good, especially offensively. Without Gruden, actually. So we'll see if that's the case. We'll see. We see them. They win 3 in a row, and they drop a couple in a row, and they win a couple in a row. Is that kind of a Raiders theme here? Let's see if they can keep on rolling here. They look pretty good right now. Not a whole lot of room to move them up with the other teams here, but overall, being at number 11 after we thought they were, they started losing and there was a disastrous situation with Gruden. It's pretty good for the Raiders right there. It's really good, actually. Chargers had a bye. They moved down 1 spot, mainly because there was a team that just had to move up. It's what it was here. So the Chargers didn't really do anything wrong, but they're still coming off a bad loss. But there's a team in here that just had to move up, so that is the reason the Chargers moved down. Ravens are going to go down 6 spots to number 9, and when we're talking about the top-tier teams, which it seems to every week it seems to be like the 9 separate themselves, the Ravens are a top-tier team. They were very hot before that last loss, but one slip-up in my power rankings will move you down 6 spots. I still view as a top-tier team, but it's because all those other teams are hot right now. They're fresh off a win. So that's a tough loss for the Ravens. They got beat up pretty bad in that game, home against the Bengals team. Expect the Ravens to take care of business in that one. So they're going to go down 6 spots. Still like the Ravens. It's a tough one there. And then the Bengals, who beat them up 2 spots. Bengals in the top 8, the top tier of teams here. Pretty wild. That's a very good team right now. They're playing very good football. What I like about them is I can't figure out where they're playing their best ball, and that's a great thing. I can't tell if it's quarterback play. The receivers are outstanding. Jamar Chase is outstanding. The running game is great. Getting Joe Mixon the ball outside, even in the passing game, is fantastic. Offensive line isn't the strength, but it is way better than it was last year. Well coached, it seems, this year. And then defensively, they've been stopping the run at an incredibly high level, and they're getting pressure now from multiple different guys, interior, outside. So I love that about this team, that it's actually one of the more balanced rosters, one of the more balanced teams in football right now. And they got playmakers everywhere, which the playmaker part shouldn't really be a surprise. So they're looking good. That's a dominant win against the Ravens. They got to get into the top 8 for that one. So they are up 2 spots here to number 8. And then the Bills had a bye. They'll move up a spot. The Ravens kind of getting beat up pretty bad there, kind of helped them out. Bengals pretty close to the Bills as well. That was a tough one. The Bills for a good stretch were playing some incredibly good football though. So they're up 1 spot kind of by default here to number 7. The Titans put up a great back. They beat the Bills and then they beat the Chiefs. Not too many people had them winning both those games. So that's pretty impressive for the Titans there. So they're starting to catch fire, kind of looking more like that dominant offense you remember last year, and the defense is really starting to pick it up, getting a lot of pressure, unlike the last couple of years, holding the Chiefs to 3 points. So Titans have been pretty damn impressive. So there's a couple great AFC teams there in a row. Titans, Bills, Bengals, Ravens, Chargers, Raiders are in there too. And we know the Browns have potential to get in there. Colts are getting sneaky now. Patriots getting sneaky. Chiefs at any given time could heat up again. Cowboys at a bye. They move up 1 spot. Collection of their resume, how they played. The Ravens had a bad loss, and that's their second loss. So they'll move down. It's kind of the storyline of a lot of these teams. The Rams, wasn't thrilled with their performance. Honestly, the only performance I'm thrilled with for the Rams is the Buccaneers. That's a big-time win. Other than that, I haven't really been thrilled. I don't love the way the defense is playing, and it's good enough right now. Obviously, and I'm splitting hairs because I expect them to maybe be the number 1 team, which they were on my power rankings at one point for the Cardinals game. So they're still a very good team. But yeah, that Buccaneers win was big, and then on top of that, it's just they're winning right now. So they're up to number 4. They're up 1 spot, mainly because the Ravens lost there. Packers, same situation. They take care of business against Washington. The one side of it, Washington was in the red zone a lot of the game, and that game could have been a lot different, but the Packers, at the end of the day, they kind of forced that the way the game played out with how clutch they were on defense in the red zone. Offense did their job as well. They got a huge game against the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football, probably without Devontae Adams and their defensive coordinator, which is extremely tough. I'm still looking forward to that game, but it makes it less appealing, I guess. But they are up 1 spot. The Buccaneers with a dominant performance. They go play a pretty good defense, and they just light them up there, and their defense had a very good performance as well. So the Buccaneers will stay put at number 2. Look at their resume, what they've done, how they played on the field against teams. Minus the 1 game, they've been absolutely dominant. Looking like the defending Super Bowl champions. So, a lot of people in the comments complain about head-to-head. The Rams beat the Bucs. It's not about head-to-head because there's more than. We got the Packers in between them. There's 32 teams in the NFL. There's been 7 weeks of NFL games, not just 1 game. I've been a little more impressed with the Buccaneers and what they've shown me on the field, for the most part this year. So I got them at 2. And then the Cardinals are still at 1. They're still undefeated, and they're still playing very good football. They play the Packers on Thursday Night Football in Arizona, 1 versus 3. I'm really looking forward to that. Like I said, it's tough that Adams is probably out. I don't think that's guaranteed yet, though. But it's tough that he's probably out. Defensive coordinator's out, so that's tough blow for the Packers. Still looking forward to it, though. So not a lot of crazy movement, a lot of ones pumping up. I think the Ravens having if the Ravens would have made that one a tight one at least. It's a game you kind of expect them to win at home against the Bengals. But if they made that a tight one at least, I don't think they would have moved down that far. I think they would have probably been sitting in that. It'd have been tough, because the Bengals got to go up too. These other teams. With their performance as well. So, yeah, I do think there's a top. I think the top 9 is kind of the group. I think I said that last week too. I think they separate themselves. Chargers were right in there. Any given time they can get back in there. I don't know what that what the Bengals did to the Ravens. I expected the Chargers to do, and since the Chargers did the complete opposite of that, you worry a little bit. You got to worry a little bit. So Chargers at any given time could look like an elite football team, but I think the top 9 right now are feeling like the way. I know it's hard to categorize a team like the Bengals maybe for some. If I say they're a contender, it's hard to hear that maybe, but I would say the way they are, and my power rankings have nothing to do with contention or anything, but I'm saying the way they are currently playing. I'm not predicting, the way they are currently playing, the top 9 feel like legit contenders. Again, I would probably throw the Chargers in there. I'm just, we'll see them stay a little more consistent here. And we know maybe the Browns can sneak up there. The Chiefs could probably sneak back up there. Teams like that. We talked about it throughout the power rankings. So, we'll be updating these every Tuesday afternoon like we always do. It's pretty basic. You win, you go up. You lose, you go down. You show me some good play on the field. You're going to go up there as well. So that's how it works here. I'm not predicting anything for the end of the year. I know a lot of power rankings are kind of end of the year assumptions, like who do you think is going to be all good when it's all said and done. It's not the way I do things here. So hopefully everyone enjoy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Always talking on Twitter as well. Link pinned in the comments for that and other recent videos. So check it out. Like, subscribe. Turn notifications on. That'd be much, much appreciated here. Weekly picks later tonight, which is Tuesday night. Score predictions Wednesday. Cannot wait. It's going to do it for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.